I'm Elisa Bokeen, and we are two brown chicks changing the face of therapy on both sides of the couch. Woo!
All right, for So today we are joined again by Candace Strother
Our
of
babe.
QueenLYFE.
Yes.
I'm a babe. Oh
You are
my
one of the
God.
babes.
Honored.
Anybody that's been here more than one time is a babe.
You are
I
a
love it.
babe.
I'm
Yes.
very honored to be here.
Of
Thank
course.
you, Facebook Land. Thank you, Facebook Live.
Instagram Live.
Instagram Live. What's happening?
Yes.
If you have not heard of QueenLYFE, go check it out. It's QueenLYFE. Loving yourself first every day.
Yeah.
Love yourself first every day.
So tell them a little bit about what QueenLYFE does for those that are not familiar.
Absolutely. So as Ebony stated, it's QueenLYFE, LYFE, love yourself first every day. And we're building an empowered community of women and girls by promoting health and wellness, financial responsibility, and mentorship. So building community is essential to our growth, and that's who we are.
And that's
really
awesome. And y'all have all kinds of programs
Yes.
throughout the year.
Yes.
And one of your events is coming up very soon, and Elisa is actually a speaker at it.
Oh,
I'm so excited.
She's excited. I'm excited. So yes, we have Sip and Share Wine Conversations and Connections on April 27th, 6 to 9 p.m. And the lovely Elisa is one of our guest speakers. She's one of our panelists actually. So super excited about it.
Yeah, and you have so many people on there. KOG.
Yes.
She's been on our show before.
Yeah.
So we spoke on panel for her.
Yeah, man. Like we have just a mix of amazing people. So the theme for this session is cultural connections. And the vision behind it is allowing people to have exposure through culture, through international foods. We're going to be talking about diversity, inclusion. We have an art aspect, so Brianna James is going to provide some pieces for us to view and do a live painting. International foods from Lucy's, and we got some Cajun cuisine for people that don't necessarily want to step outside of the box.
For some people,
I love Lucy's. I had my birthday party that one year.
Wow.
That's awesome. So we have a lot of amazing people. Elisa, Dr. Nina, Life Lemuel, and Donald Stinson, and of course Kalia Guillory.
So what was the whole motivation behind it? Because so much of what Ebony and I feel like this just really goes hand in hand with some of the things that we're so passionate about, you know, as far as identifying and making space for other culture, you know, in the therapy room for us, you know, and having that connection. So for you, what was the motivation behind this year being a cultural connection theme?
So two things. I think now more than ever, because we have social media, a lot of us are kind of disconnected.
Oh, for sure.
So we hide behind our phones, our computers,
Definitely.
and it's very easy to text, even when you're arguing sometimes. You
Yes.
text your argument. Don't call me no more.
Right.
Block, delete.
Yes.
Delete it.
Yes.
I don't know what that's like though.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. We don't-
Never
That's not
experienced that
me.
before.
I've
never
heard.
been blocked.
Yes.
Why would
I
you
don't block
me?
nobody, don't delete nobody. That's not me.
Right.
Okay.
But I've heard that this is the thing.
Word on the street, right?
Right.
So, you know, because like we have to do better at connecting with each other. So I really wanted to provide an experience, a space for us to really build those connections, to embrace who we are,
Yeah.
but not only who we are, but to celebrate other cultures.
Right.
So whether it be, you know, you are from Houston, you're from another city or state, you know, it's just like us really coming together, sharing. The panelists all have a different aspect of culture. So like that's just like going to be amazing. And a lot of you guys are international travelers. So it's just going to be very, just a great time, you know. I'm really excited about it.
And you're big on the whole having travel be part of your mental health sort of routine and your self-care.
Absolutely.
What have you found that travel and experiencing other cultures, how does that help you maintain your mental health at its optimal state?
Oh my God, like that has really enhanced my peace, my sensitivity to other cultures,
Mm-hmm.
and just the exposure just made me more aware of like life, and just people outside of that, that look like myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just enhanced who I am as a person. And for me, it's just like, gosh, it's priceless. I would rather go out of town
Yeah.
versus, spend all my money on clothes
Right.
or shoes or
Mhm.
whatever. That's something, your international experiences or just traveling is something no one can take away from
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I am a huge advocate of just grounding yourself, going on a solo trip or with a group. And I think that's very important. And a lot of people, may not have gone outside of Houston.
Right.
Mhm.
So, and we have a lot of diversity within Houston, but it's also good to step outside of the box and see another culture,
Yeah.
eat different foods, like be immersed in their ways of doing things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going to other countries, I think we're so used to the way we do things and thinking like this is the way it should be done.
Right.
Yes.
And it kind of gets you out of that should.
Yeah.
Because when you see other people and the way that they live their lives, and especially just in general, most countries outside of the U.S. just live completely different.
Right.
And aren't so focused on individuality, aren't so
Right.
focused on like this work,
Right.
all that. Like they just
Right.
live a different life. And when you go there and it's like, it feels like this sense of peace. And it's like,
Yeah.
where did that come from?
Yes.
You start to want to try to
Yeah.
incorporate that in your life as well.
Exactly. Like when I went to Barcelona, so there are stores that close in the
Mhm.
middle of the day.
Yeah.
So like, you're like, oh, I want to go to the store now.
Lunch, or late lunch, yeah.
You will not be going to that store
Right.
because they're really big on family and eating and
Mhm.
spending time,
Mhm.
lunchtime with family.
Exactly.
And then returning to work. And I think for them, like that really helps their balance.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That keeps them connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we accept who we are through culture, but we also accept who we are through relationships and the
Yeah.
connections.
Yeah.
The connection is everything. Being
Connection.
connected to other people. It's like what you said. Even though we're connected through social media to other people, we're more disconnected than ever
Absolutely.
because we're not picking up the phone.
Right.
Because we are sending the text.
Right.
Because we're not going out to meet you for lunch. You
Or
know?
we feel like we know that person based
Yeah.
on what they're
Right.
posting, even though they're only posting a second,
snapshot
3 days of
whole
their life,
Yeah.
right? And but we're like, oh, yo, you see, they're doing good, they're doing this, and this, and you haven't talked to them in 3 months.
Right, right.
You know?
They
right.
could be at home crying every day.
Exactly.
In the
But-
fetal position.
in fetal position on the floor. and
Doing
you-
well.
Right. I'm posting a picture of them 2 weeks ago when they were
Right,
smiling.
right.
Like, let me go back and repost when I was happy.
Right, exactly,
Right,
exactly. And so we don't take that time to really connect and get to know how people are doing and things like that.
I agree. And life is a gift, with just recent loss of Nipsey Hussle. It just gave me a different perspective of how important it is to maintain relationships
Oh,
and
for
to
sure.
connect.
Yeah.
Pick up the phone, go spend time with someone.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make sure within QueenLYFE that we continually incorporate that connection.
Yeah.
And
And
the
it,
importance of it.
and I like the idea of expanding how we view life,
Yeah.
and what you said, instead of maybe putting my money towards this is something that's been a priority to me. It's like I thought, I live in memes and quotes. That's how I
love
think.
it.
And someone had posted something. It was like, you end up spending like $300 a month on eating out. Because you're
Yes.
eating
Way more.
same.
Way
Yeah, like which is like $900 every 3 months. Like you have money to travel, but you don't want to make a sandwich.
Right.
That's real.
Right.
That's
And
real
I was
talk.
like, oh,
Right. Are you talking
I
about
feel
me?
attacked.
Yeah.
I was like, it's true.
It's so
It is
true.
Yeah.
You spend money on the here and now, and sometimes you don't think about like what experiences you could be having in the future.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You just had a really
Mhm.
amazing experience for your
Oh,
birthday.
right.
Right. That's the whole theme of it. Like,
I was
you
like,
She's like, really not
celebrated
talking
your
about that.
birthday
Yeah.
and was able to do a lot of,
local.
excursions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were able to go and hang out with the locals in a small town in Mexico. They did a tour of it. And we did like cenotes, which is like the underwater caves or the extremely clear, ridiculous water. It's so
Yeah.
crazy.
Beautiful.
And so that experience was amazing, just because the tour guides that led us on this tour, they were just awesome guys. They loved Houston. They were like,
Wow.
oh, is Houston close to Port Arthur? We were like, how y'all know about Port Arthur? Port Arthur, because they listen to UGK and they listen to
So funny.
but but it was awesome because they were explaining to us like their culture and how they had to go away to college because their small town didn't have high schools or colleges. So they're the group of friends that they've been on forever. And I was on a trip with people I've known since I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
So their group of friends that they've been on since they were 7 had to leave and go away to college. And when they came back, and the cenotes they used to like play in and stuff like that were like dirty and disgusting and all this other stuff. And so they decided to get together and clean it up.
Wow.
And then they started this tour to support that as well as going into schools and teaching kids about the cleanliness, about the history of the cenotes and all that kind of stuff. And so it was just, it's like, and if you go around the town, it's a really small town. You go around the town, you see their little trash cans where you're supposed to like clean up the town and put it in their trash cans. And
wow.
it was a really cool organization. And we didn't even expect it. I just wanted to go on a cenote tour. I was like, just show me these caves,
Yes.
take some pretty pictures, and let me go.
Right.
Like, but before
right?
we even went, we were all sitting there like, oh my God, like it was just amazing. And so it was a part of the trip that we weren't expecting.
Yeah.
But made us fall more in love with that area. And like there has been so many conversations about when we buy property, like we want that just because when you get to know people's stories and when you really get to know the people that live there and what they went through and their experiences, it connects you to that place.
Right, absolutely.
Right. It makes you feel like, oh goodness, like even to the point of like, what can I do to make a difference?
Right.
In my city or there, you know, you want to help and you want to support. So yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And for me, like when I went to Tulum a couple years ago, it really opened my eyes because a lot of the local people were very humble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, their kids were working with them and they were selling the products that they made.
Right.
And it's like, wow, it's a whole nother life.
Yes.
Like they really work as a family and, you know, at a young age. So this gave me a different perspective of how spoiled we can be
Oh,
Yeah.
for
while
sure.
living here and how like fortunate we are. We take a lot of things for granted.
And
Yeah.
we think that, and I think it's kind of what you were saying earlier, we think that accumulating more stuff is going to make us happier. And then you go, you know, one of the places that I love to visit is Roatan, Honduras, right? Like it's this little island off of the mainland of Honduras. And you go there and it is gorgeous, like gorgeous. The water is crystal clear. But what strikes me about it when I go to visit is there is a lot of poverty, and yet you see all this beauty, and then you see the people, right? Like you see the diversity and the beauty in the people, and then you see their joy, right? And you're like, and life is so simple here, right? Like it's so slowed down. You see the families like on the Sundays, they go to the beach and they're all gathered together. I remember like driving through there and seeing like the kids like playing soccer, like barefoot, you know, and so it just puts your whole life into perspective where it's like, we think that accumulating more stuff, and not that that's a bad thing, you know, because I like stuff.
Right. We all like stuff,
right? But the idea that when we accumulate more stuff, we're going to be happier.
Right.
We're going to be in this better state of mind. And it's like, if you don't do the internal work, you can just be, you know, you just have a lot of stuff and you're miserable.
Right. And I think it just, when you go to those different countries, recognizing that it's not about what they have, it's about who they have.
Yes.
And so I think that's a big part of it is like learning like community is such a huge part. Having those relationships with families and friends and spending time, like you don't have to have a lot to have that happiness and joy, and it comes from those connections.
And respecting nature. Like, especially like there where, you know, it's primarily where, you know, their income is coming from a lot of the tourism. And so they have the second largest coral reef in the world.
Wow.
And so they protect it, you know, it's like they protect and preserve nature and they have this respect for it. So many things that I think, again, we kind of take for granted and it's not on the forefront of our mind, or we feel like you're doing something special, you know what I mean? By advocating for clean air or, you know, fresh water, you know what I mean? Where it's like, no, it's just kind of woven into the culture and the way that people think. So I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Getting around these other ways of thinking.
Absolutely. I think for the Sip and Share series, my whole vision behind that was bringing people together to share their truth.
Yeah.
So we started in about 2015 and had great times with just transparency. We talked a lot, always incorporated mental health. Because that was something I was always very passionate about, even before I started going to therapy. Just learning people's journey and the process to get to where they are now from where they were. So like Sip and Share has really just been a platform of truth, transparency, authentic connections,
Mm-hmm.
positive energy. Like, we don't do any funny style.
Right.
You gotta leave that at home.
Leave that. Don't bring that.
What
Yeah.
you walk away with is just value, from being open-minded, from allowing yourself to do something new.
Yeah.
Allowing yourself to like actually go out and be around people.
Right.
Feel energy, exchange dialogue. You just never know. Like, places you go, like that could be your next friend, travel buddy, business partner.
Yes.
Like for me.
Yes, Rumi.
Oh.
That's how we
met randomly.
We just met randomly. Like, I
Social
want to be
media.
your friend.
But that's how we actually met. Like, we started following each other.
Yes, I was like, I love her.
I love her, right? But when we connected in real life,
yes,
it
that's
was
the
just
key.
like, wow.
Meet these people offline.
No, yeah.
Right.
So can you talk about the past? Because I know I was telling you I went to the last one you had, and to me, like that was like the beginning, I guess. Like I've heard about like this whole spiritual thing, and
Right.
and the stones and the chakras and all that stuff, and I was like, whatever. So I went to this event, and like everyone was talking about this alternative like healing, like just how they have found healing in different ways. And I don't even remember what the theme was, but I remember you had Julia Cooks on there, and she was talking about like her bout with like possibly having MS, I believe. Yeah, and she kind of healed herself through like fasting and juicing and things like that. Amara was on there, and she was talking about energies. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was he was talking about the colors and how when you're not aligned and you need certain colors in your life. And I was just like what is this like?
A whole new world, right?
And it's probably what bonded us at that.
Because you had asked me at that point to be and I was going out of town.
Yeah,
that was when we first spoke.
Yeah,
and I was like, I would love to. I had this we were going out of town, but and it's funny because it's alternative healing, and yet so many of this is
traditional,
ancient healing,
right?
People
like been doing it for years, and been healed and passing that down to generations, and they've been healed. We were like, this is new.
This is
new age.
Yeah, right.
But and again, it's kind of like Ebony and I always talk about that. Therapy is one modality.
There's so many modes of healing.
There's so many, and you can do multiple ones, right? Like you can go to therapy, you can do acupuncture, yoga, energy, you can do all these things. It's like, be open to exploring to see what works for you.
Right. And so to bring it back to your question, where I was in my life, like 2 years ago, was the beginning of my healing journey. So I named that session the Mind, Body, and Soul Experience.
Okay.
So we talked about everything from healthy lifestyles to working out, nutrition, the chakras, the balancing. Amora had her crystals. So like that was a whole new world for me.
Yeah.
But I know like with me being a new entrepreneur at the time, I needed something.
Yeah.
Give me all
not a bottle of gin.
Yes. What can I get outside of this alcohol?
Help me with this bottle of tequila.
Right.
Where's that?
Exactly. I'm like, no, I gotta do some alternatives.
Right. I gotta find some alternative.
Yes.
So it was an awesome experience. I think people like found a lot of value in that, a lot of information. It probably made them look deeper into healing and just the chakras and the crystals. So, that was great. Like I really appreciated that. But before that was the pursuit of purpose. That's before I took the leap of faith.
Yes.
And quit my job.
Yeah.
You're trying to decide if this is my purpose.
Right. Is this my purpose? I'm gonna try it out and see.
Yeah.
So, but that one was like, I told my story about my father, how influential he was, and just his loss, and how he collected tools. And those tools symbolize him wanting to fix things, but not necessarily knowing how to do the inner work.
Yeah.
So those tools, like he loved to fix things outside of himself, but he really was yearning for direction in that inner work. So it was powerful. Like it's really been a beautiful journey. We've had some amazing panelists, speakers, people that have been sponsors, our members, people that have put it together behind the scenes, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I'm working hard right now.
No, it was beautiful. And it was well organized, and just like you said, even the vendors were like fit the theme. Right. And I think that's always amazing when you're not just like, oh, whoever wants to be a vendor.
Yeah.
But no, like it needs to go with what we're talking about. So having like Angel Cornelius.
With the body butter.
Yes, the body butter and that type of stuff. Like it was, just
shout out to Angel.
Yes, it's awesome when it's like all of this just fits. Like it just goes together, and it's a space, like you said, that you go in and you feel the positivity and you feel the energy.
Yes.
And even the breakouts, because I'm a very
interactive, right?
It's very interactive, and I'm not normally.
Why don't you be our host for one of the breakout sessions?
I probably do better at that than being in the breakout session. So sure. But no,
we'll talk about
But no, it's a really awesome experience. So if y'all are in Houston, y'all should definitely go to it.
I'm asking for everybody's support because not only is it a great experience, it's going to be powerful, but a portion of the proceeds are going to Project Mona Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
And Elisa was one of our guests for Project Mona Lisa. Mm-hmm. That's our youth development program. So we're going into schools, we're giving young ladies modules of self-love, of access to career information, STEM and STEAM. So we definitely want to sustain that program, which will be at Dulles Middle School in September.
Okay.
So it's a lot of moving pieces, but we're figuring out a way to make them all work together.
Right.
Yeah. So
you're doing such important, necessary.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
You are.
Your girl gets tired sometimes.
But you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I feel that, and that's why, despite anything that I'm like, okay, this ain't really what it is, I continue to press forward. With the support of our board members. Shout out to the QueenLYFE Inc. board. Mm-hmm. Like, we've been really working hard in trying to make things flow. And, it's a newer organization. We're only 4 years old. Yeah. So I really didn't know a lot of what I was doing or about the nonprofit world. Yeah. So I've had to really dig and learn. And I'm in that process of learning so much about myself. Yeah. So, it's a lot going on.
It's a lot.
Yeah. But it's all coming together, and we just, we ask for your support. Make sure you buy your tickets. Please don't wait till the last minute.
And if someone is out of town, can they buy one and donate it?
Totally donate it, because it's a group of women that really may not have the means at this moment to purchase their own ticket. But if you can kindly donate it, that would mean the world to them. Yeah. Share the experience. If you're not going to be here, there's always so much going on in Houston. Yeah. If you can't attend, consider donating your ticket.
Yeah. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait. I can't wait to go shopping.
Yeah. Girl, what am I gonna wear?
You better look fabulous. You need to wear that outfit you were wearing in the
in her photo shoot.
Marketing.
Yes. I was like, all right.
Shout out to Alipa Style. That. If you don't know who they are, make sure you check them out.
Go check out Alipa Style and look at Candace
on Alipa Style.
I was like, Candace.
Yeah, that's a whole other side. That was me stepping into my queendom for sure.
Man, you owned that. I was like, wowzers.
It was awesome.
But her clothes is beautiful.
Beautiful clothes. Handmade, really intentional. They all have a name, so and the names have meaning. Mm-hmm. So it's just really elements of culture. I'm working on her. She's going to Cuba. Speaking of international travel, she's going to Cuba. So we're trying to work that out. For sure.
Okay, awesome.
For sure.
So I want you to tell people how else they can support, because I know that you do the mental wellness walks, and right now y'all are taking on, if you want to be, is it the
facilitator?
Facilitator.
For sure.
Then that's a way that you can kind of donate to the organization as well.
Yeah. So like Ebony said, the wellness walks are every third Saturday at Herman Park, and really from that, I was in a space of depression, especially after Hurricane Harvey. My family lost everything. So what kind of helped me, a form I used to heal outside of therapy, was walking at the park, being around nature, looking at the trees.
So grounding.
It was super grounding, and then we incorporated that into QueenLYFE last year as well. So every third Saturday, and if you would like to, especially if you're a mental health professional, a fitness professional, if you want to facilitate one of the wellness walks, kind of be the team lead of it, share a little bit of your story, your business, your motivation, definitely make sure you contact info@queenlife.org. We have some spaces available for this year. Ebony, I think you're going to be at one.
Yes, I'm planning. No, not May. I think June. Every time I'm like, okay, this month, then
something comes up.
So I'm trying to block it off. So yes, I'm hoping to be able to do June.
Yeah. So definitely support the wellness walks. Project Mona Lisa, like I said, is going to kick off in September. However, we're doing a Girls' Day half conference at Dulles Middle School the next week after Sip and Share. So May 3rd.
Oh my goodness.
You just packing up your calendar.
Tell me about it. Like we have that, and then Boys and Girls Club this summer. If anybody lives in Brazoria County, you want a stipend over the summer, you're free, you're not working, especially if you're an educator, hit me up. I have an opportunity for you with the Boys and Girls Club, and it's only once a week, so it's really allowing QueenLYFE, our programming, to expand, and at the same time, we want to incorporate people in the community.
Yeah.
So it's a lot going on.
So much.
It's like a lot, like, you know, things you pray for, like you start receiving them.
Yes.
But you have to be ready, and you have to, know that, if you trust yourself, you trust the process, it's going to work out. It can be overwhelming, but you just that's what you asked for, right?
Yes.
Exactly. That's what you asked for, so now you got to learn how to do it.
You're crying in that office, in fetal position.
Right.
I just need this to work. Oh, it's working now. Okay.
It's working.
It's definitely rolling. So Sip and Share, April 27th, Rice University. We have a beautiful venue, by the way.
Awesome.
Like, it's 2 levels. The second level is going to be the VIP area.
Ooh.
And Crown Royal is going to have their private bar up there.
Hey. You want to upgrade your ticket?
I got a regular little ticket. I upgrade.
Yeah, so we're going to have massage therapists there.
Nice.
Shout out to Much Needed Massage Therapy. They'll be there with 2 chairs for the VIP guests.
I was just on a panel with the owner of it.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Last week.
And Crown Royal's actually doing the purple bag project, because they're purple bags.
Yeah.
Right? You the ones
Everybody knows the purple bag.
Right. Use this for my
Multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose coins, whatever.
Right.
So now they're stuffing them with toiletries and donating them to shelters.
Oh, I love that. This is fantastic.
Cool.
That's
So
fantastic.
So there'll be an opportunity to create a bag, and they're gonna, like, between us and them, we're gonna divide them and take them to shelters.
That's fantastic.
So it's an element of purpose, an element of all elements of culture, VIP treatment. Everybody's VIP.
Yeah.
But it's a different ticket level for the VIP.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, and then we have our vendors. The panelists are amazing. And Elisa, she... Can I tell the story?
Yeah, you can tell.
So, okay, I was like, I know Elisa's family, either she's from Mexico or her family's from Mexico. So I called her, and we started laughing, like, okay, because I thought, Elisa, I didn't know that you weren't black. I thought she was Creole. Right? I thought she was
Afro-Latina.
Boricua, Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we started laughing about
She's like,
that.
you Mexican?
I was like, but where's your family from? New Orleans?
Are you sure?
Are you positive?
Yes. We had a whole episode about that.
Yeah. So I definitely want you to talk about the stereotypes.
Yeah.
That, and how you have to kind of overcome some of that. And it's just so funny.
Yeah.
We put people in these boxes, and that's like part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Don't box people because you don't know.
Right. Or what happens when you are boxed?
Yeah. How do you become unboxed?
How do you? We talk about that all the time. It's like, how do I have this conversation with people?
Yeah. Seriously.
So,
And so I thought that was really funny.
It's funny because I was like, I went to New Orleans over the weekend, and we had talked about that. She's like, I thought you were like from New Orleans or something. And so I said, I'm going to New Orleans. And she's like, you going home?
Where your people at?
Welcome home.
I was like, I feel like it.
She does love New Orleans.
I was like, girl, you look like my auntie.
That's
hilarious. So, that was exciting.
Yeah.
So I do want you to share a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm.
Kalia is definitely going to talk about diversity and inclusion because it's just thrown out there.
Yeah.
Diversity inclusion champion. Yeah.
Right. What does that mean?
What is that about? And how come I'm still not at the table?
Right.
How am I included in this conversation?
What's considered diverse?
Yes.
What's considered, a diverse, what's the word I'm looking for? A group.
Yeah.
What's
table?
For sure.
And having one person out of 30
Right.
It's not.
Right. That's not diversity.
And why are people making a big push for it all of a
Yeah,
sudden?
why
It kind of
not?
reminds me of affirmative action.
Right.
So it's like history recreated.
It's just a different, yep.
Kalia will be able to expand on that.
She's a powerful speaker too.
Man,
Every
shout
time she
out
just
nap bar.
Yes, this nap.
Yes.
I've been waiting to go get my nap.
Me too. I might go after I leave. I was up till 3:30 a.m.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. She got
I'm in mode, you know.
What's that? You asked for it.
Yeah, sure, I asked for
You
this.
asked for 3:30, but you asked for these
You
other
didn't
parts
realize what you was
that
asking
require
for.
3:30.
That's right.
That's what it is.
I gotta write that down.
This goes with
People don't. They
the-
don't recognize that when you ask for this, you don't recognize what you
Yeah,
get with
what
it.
it comes
Yeah.
with.
That's so true.
It's
That's
like
so
you want
true.
a puppy, but the puppy is also up at night. And you got a potty trainer.
It's like a child.
You
You asked for a baby, actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Life is a world traveler. He's taking students to Ethiopia every year.
Nice.
And they do chess tournaments.
Wow,
So
that's
he's
amazing.
totally immersed himself in their culture.
Mm.
Donald is a world traveler. Despite him being diagnosed with lymphoma, of course he overcame that, but he still traveled the world. He maintained his gym. Dr. Nina, she's just absolutely amazing, mental health professional, but also really talks about the importance of self-acceptance, being comfortable in your skin, because once you're comfortable in your skin, you're actually able to embrace other people
Right.
easier,
Right.
different cultures,
Right.
and be
Definitely.
exposed to other people.
Yeah.
Right.
Ooh, I can't wait.
We got
Is
a
this
fire.
event for men and women?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Kings, I know like our past events have been the majority of audience been women, but you are totally invited. We ask for your support as well. And we want to see you come out. I know guys it's something funny sometimes. You have to,
Yeah,
like,
it's difficult
pull
sometimes to get them out, but
yeah, totally. But come out. This is not exclusive to one group. This is cultural connections.
Right.
We have 2 male panelists, so
Yes.
everybody's included.
Right.
Yay.
And so if they can't make the event, how else can they support Queen Life, and how do they keep up with you?
Absolutely. Make sure you go to queenlife.org, subscribe to our newsletters. You can email me, Candace, CANDACE, at queenlife.org. Follow us on Instagram, QueenLYFE1, the number 1. Facebook page, Queen Life Inc. So if you feel like you have skills that you could possibly bring to our board as members or just as people to support the mission and the movement, let me know. Totally open. We're still shaping a lot of things within our membership, but we definitely want to hear from you. We want to continue to build our community.
And if you just want to donate, you can also go there and click the donate button and
Don't listen.
donate on a regular basis.
No amount is too small
That's
or too large.
I was
Because those $5, $10, $20 donations that we receive, especially on a monthly basis, you have no clue how that helps. Like I know last year we needed journals for Project Mona Lisa. Those donations added up.
Right.
So we were able to get journals for the girls, and we actually need them this time around. So please donate. If you can't do anything else, go to the website, go to PayPal, go wherever, Cash App, Queen Life Inc. Donate. I am begging.
Yeah.
I'm being vulnerable.
Yes.
We need your support. We want
Right.
to sustain the movement.
Yeah, and if you can't be there to volunteer and all that stuff, money is always a good way to help out because it helps
Absolutely.
y'all with the programming and that type of stuff.
And know that it's going to the mission.
Right.
You
Yes.
know,
Right.
like I've sacrificed a lot.
And I was able to see firsthand the work that you're doing with these young women, at these such vulnerable ages, as they're moving from, little kid to big kid,
Right.
and all the stuff that comes with that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was able to see firsthand the time that you invited me to be part of it, just the impact that it has, and it makes me think like, wow, I would have loved to have something like that as a young woman. Teaching me about self-esteem, teaching me about physical body boundaries,
Right.
teaching about all the possibilities that you can have in different career paths. I mean, it's so powerful what you're doing. And so you're literally helping to plant these seeds to change these young children's lives. And so that's what these donations do is I'm seeing it firsthand. I got to see the girls and how they were responding to the information and having these emotional, breakthroughs. It's powerful. So you don't always get to see what what it is that an organization is doing firsthand. Like, you're doing good work, oh, that's great. But when you get to see it face up, it's that much more powerful. So
thank you for that. Thank you for being part. We had a powerful session when you came. It was very sensitive information. We talked about abuse, especially sexual abuse, and you provided grounding tools. So for me, like as an adult going through healing, as an adult woman, I feel like it's important to allow these young ladies to get those tools now.
Yes.
So they're not going through life and they have a breaking point. A breakdown. You know, so if you give them the tools now, they know how to cope and they know how to deal with adversity.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So wonderful.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back, and I hope to see some of y'all at this event.
I hope to see all of y'all.
All of you.
All of you.
Get out of the plane.
Get there. Get plane, train, automobile.
Get there. It's going to be a good time.
We're going to have fun. Like, I really want to incorporate more fun, too.
Yeah.
It's going to be a moment to just celebrate, right?
Yes.
Music, food,
looking cute.
Royal.
Listen, so like, I'm going to be cute at this
time.
Pictures, videography. Like, we're just going to have a ball. Let's do it. We owe it to ourselves.
Definitely.
Yes, for sure.
Definitely. So make sure that you follow QueenLYFE and support the mission. Also follow Melanin and Mental Health at melaninandmentalhealth.com, across social media at Melanin and Mental Health, Melanin Health on Twitter. Check out the check out the shop on melaninandmentalhealth.com, and also check out the directory. We have lots of clinicians there. If you're looking for a dope therapist, that's the first place to start. If you are a dope therapist, make sure you sign up so that people can find you.
Woo! Take a breath.
We're good to go.
Yes.
Thank y'all, and we will talk to y'all next time. What did you have to say? Oh, that's just what I'm saying.
That was good. Take a breath.
That was really
Bye, y'all.